Can you believe we're already approaching week 3? It's been a lot of fun so far, and there's certainly more ahead. As we enter the third weekend of the season, here are 5 things I'm buying and selling. Wisconsin is the best team in the West. Yes, Iowa has looked good out of the gates, going 20 with victories versus Wyoming and at Iowa State in OT. And Minnesota and Illinois have turned some heads with 20 starts. But I think the Badgers are the best in the West. And it's really not that close. Wisconsin HASNT played 4 good full quarters yet but still has bulldozed Utah State 5,910 and Florida Atlantic 3,114. What will happen when the Badgers hit on all cylinders? It's a scary thought. There is a legit chance for this team to go unbeaten. Really, I want a Wisconsin versus Penn State game now. Illinois is the most surprising 20 team. Sell, no doubt. It is a bit of a surprise to see the Fighting Illini standing 20 with home wins versus Ball State and Western Kentucky. I think many pundits felt Illinois would fall to the Hilltoppers last week. But the Illini won 207. For me, Maryland is the most surprising 20 team. No one envisioned the Terrapins opening the season with a 5,141 win at Texas. It was one of the most stunning results of the opening weekend across the college football landscape. The Terps followed by obliterating Towson last week. Maryland is off this week and then plays Central Florida. How good are the Terrapins? It's gonna be fun to find out. The Terrapins opened Big Ten play at Minnesota and at Ohio State. Ohio State's downfield passing game will improve over the season. Sell, I just don't see it. Sure, JT Barrett may make some strides, but it's difficult to make big improvements during the season. You are what you are. A quarterback change preposterous. The Buckeyes need to adjust how they pass and find some routes patterns Barrett excels at executing, and embrace his ability to run. Barrett is really struggling versus zone defenses. We've seen a lot of zone, Urban Meyer said after the OU loss last Saturday night. That's one of the negatives when you practice against all the man-to-men. They're dropping 8 in some situations, too, which is really difficult. We've given them that zone look in practice and obviously it's not enough. So we've got to continue that. Figuring how to beat zones is a big key, because Barrett is gonna keep facing a lot of them until he shows he can beat them. Northwestern has been the most disappointing team thus far. I was one of many people who felt the Wildcats were a dark horse contender in the Big Ten West. And they still may be. Pat Fitzgerald had a lot of talent and speed on defense. The offense had a formidable 12-punch in Kubi Clayton Thorson and RB Justin Jackson. But New has struggled out of the blocks, as the offensive line has struggled and the secondary has been banged up. The Wildcats trailed Nevada 107 at halftime of the opener before winning 3,120. New flopped badly last week at Duke, falling 4,117. Here is all you need to know. The Wildcats are 13th in the Big Ten in rushing 89.0 YPG and last versus the run 187.5. If you can't run or stop the run, you are doomed. But remember, New started 0-2 last year and was 13 after 4 games and still rallied to make and win a bowl. Purdue has the most to gain of any Big Ten team this weekend. The Boilermakers have turned heads with their play the first 2 weeks. First, Purdue pushed a ranked Louisville team led by defending Heisman winner Lamar Jackson to the limit in a season-opening 3,528 loss in Indianapolis. Then, the Boilers steamrolled MAC contender Ohio 4,421 last Friday. Now, Purdue plays at Missouri, which is in a bit of disarray. The Tigers fired the defensive coordinator after last week's home loss to South Carolina. And Mew is struggling on special teams, while the offense lacks consistency. Purdue could leave Columbia with a win, setting up an interesting visit from Michigan the next week in the Big Ten opener. If the Boilermakers come back to West Lafayette 21 after visiting Mizzou, I like their chances to go to a bowl game this year. And that seemed unthinkable over the winter. Advertisement.